Annyeonghaseyo. Hi everyone, it's Shahada and welcome back to Habibi Life. I have to practice my Korean, so I'm going to maybe think about greeting in Korean or saying something in Korean anytime I'm talking about K-beauty, which is what this video is about today. The last video I did, I talked about relying heavily on K-beauty, especially from my nighttime routine. That's because the formulas tend to be a lot richer. Things tend to be a little bit more thought out in terms of ingredients versus American or European skincare. My skin doesn't respond to it. I mean, maybe other people's skin responds to it. I don't do very well with European skincare and I don't do very well with American skincare, but K-beauty has been my life. So I manufacture my own skincare. I'm the owner of Habibi Bath and Body, and I make a moisturizer that I use every single day, my day moisturizer. That's the Rose Hip moisturizer. And I make a cleanser that I use every day, the Matcha and Mint cleanser. And I use my essence, which I boost. So I talked about this before about boosting my particular formulas with matcha. Matcha is very, very good to my skin. I mean, every time I put matcha on my skin, whether it's in a mask or my essence or cleanser, my skin is just very happy. It stays very clear and it stays very calm. But at night, I need something heavier. So even my heaviest formulas aren't heavy enough for me. And I don't want to necessarily invest the time in the ingredients and the money into making something that's just for me, that's heavy enough, especially when K-beauty works so well for me. So as I talked about in the last video, I'm a huge fan of K. It is literally one of my favorite brands now that I have learned what works for me. I know I'm supposed to be in a more mature space in terms of skincare. K is my life. So today I'll do a little show and tell. This is what I use every single night. I use the Core Peptalift Serum. I think I'm supposed to stick this really close to the camera. I told y'all I am learning how to do this whole stick things in the camera, put on makeup on the camera thing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. As you can see, I'm not doing makeup today because the last time I was really stressed out about it. But back to the serum. This is the Core Peptalift Serum. I love this stuff. Actually, it's called, the Cell Peptalift Core Serum. I use this every night. This is my base serum after I put my essence on. So my essence is an aloe base, so it's watery. It goes into the skin very quickly. This sticks. I love this stuff. Right after that, I will use the cream. So what they taught me is to seal all of your ingredients with a cream. So I use the Cell Peptalift Core Cream every night. The only thing that's different every 2 to 3 nights is I will use an Ampoule. It's the same brand, same thing. It's from the same line, the Cell Peptalift Core Ampoule. I will use this instead of the serum. So while my skin really likes the hydration, it does not like the weight. And I spoke before about how putting too many things on my face, too many layers, makes my face feel like it's weighed down, and it ends up breaking out because it feels like something's pressing against it. It's probably psychological. It might not be. Regardless, I break out if I can feel things on my skin. That goes for moisturizers. That goes for foundations. I cannot use a heavy foundation. Also, I spoke before about not liking powder. Same thing. My skin tends to push back against it. And not only will I break out, I'll get dehydrated. And that's just a crappy combination. You can't be dry and acne prone, but somehow here we are. So those are the 3 things I use all the time. That's every single night. That's been since I started using it diligently last August 2024. And I've been doing that straight. Like you'll see with the cream, and I bought this cream back in August, and you use so little of it. So this is how much is left. It's time for me to re-up. This is 1 ounce, but you use so little of this cream. Every night, use like a fingernail full, and I have short fingernails, so use like a fingernail full. You don't need that much, and it spreads everywhere, and it literally seals hydration. I have never used a cream. I was not a fan of creams before I learned, what the hell I was supposed to be doing with my skin. I was not a fan of creams in general. They tended to feel very heavy, and I always felt like my pores were getting clogged and that I was going to break out. But this cream and the Cell to Cell cream from the exact same brand from Re&K. Those creams, I was taught to use them to seal, and you use such a little bit. You don't have to use a lot of product. All you do is warm it in your hands and just press it into your skin. And then I put a little bit more under my eyes because your girl is not a big fan of eye cream, because eye cream, for some reason, it just clogs my pores and I get nasty little white bumps under my eyes. So I haven't used eye cream in I don't know how long. But those are my core things. I love them very much. I can't see myself deviating. One of the things that I've shied away from in this journey of not just being in skincare and in fitness and in movement is being in an influencer space where I constantly have to use new products. I don't want to do that because I don't want to stress my skin out. I don't want to sit here and say, oh, I use this and I use that. And all of a sudden my skin is now reactive and breaking out and I'm back to square one. I am super, super, super sensitive about what I put on my skin and the way that products harmonize. So I'm a terrible candidate for hawking skincare that either I don't make or I don't use, because my skin will tell on me. I'll be out here telling y'all, oh yes, use this thing, and my skin looks like trash. And then that defeats the purpose, right? So if I'm going to talk about good skincare, I'm talking about good skincare that I use. And it's not just skincare that I make. I think that it's a little presumptuous and naive sometimes for people who manufacture skincare, because there's a lot of people like me who manufacture skincare or who sell a product but also use other products. I think it's a little disingenuous to pretend that you only use your stuff. I don't only use my stuff. And I have to tell you, I don't think that anybody only uses their stuff. And if they do, yay, right? But I've been in this space for a while and I've been around people personally, and I can tell you that we're all diversifying. We're just not all as honest about it. People got to make sales. People got to eat. I get it. But I use other things. I like Re&K. I like Habibi. Those are the things for me. Those things harmonize the best for me. In addition to that, I talked about changing my diet. I know this sounds like super cliche. I drink a lot of water. I hate saying that out of my face. When people say, oh, what do you do? What is your nutrition like? I drink a lot of water. I really do. And when I say a lot of water, I'm talking like 1.5 gallons a day. That sounds insane, but I'm also not sedentary. If you're sedentary and you're drinking 1.5 gallons a day, it might suck for you. Like, you might be going to the bathroom every 5 minutes. But I am very, very active, and my morning hours are often spent in movement. If I am not teaching, I am moving my own body. If I am not training someone, I'm on camera doing something. There's a lot of activity that happens in this body physically in the morning, and that is easily 1 gallon of water. Easily. It's typically heated. I teach in a heated environment. I teach movement in a hot studio, and even when I teach clients, they tend to have heated mats or we heat the space. So I'm always sweating. So I always need water. I drink a lot of water just in my regular movement as part of my job. And then typically that other 1/2 gallon comes from after everything is done. So my day tends to end about the middle of the day, right about 1 or 2 o'clock. I train all morning, or I teach all morning, or I'm doing something in the morning. I'm a morning person, so I've built my life so that most of my activity happens before the sun comes up to right when the sun is up. That's about the time I'm starting to move. Like, most of y'all still sleep or drinking coffee and trying to figure out your lives. I'm bouncing around like a jackrabbit and yelling at people to get their bodies moving. So because of that, I'm hydrating like a fool. And typically after all of that, I decompress with a sauna. So I sweat more water, right? Now I need more water. So it makes more sense when I explain to you that I go through 1.5 gallons of water, but also that 1.5 gallons of water is very necessary. And then in the afternoon and the evenings, if I'm sitting, if I'm editing, if I'm just relaxing, I'll have water in a copper vessel somewhere, and I'll just kind of sip that, and that'll just keep me hydrated and calm until I decide to take my butt to sleep. But I don't go to the bathroom as much as you would think, having consumed that much water, because it's coming out of me typically in sweat. I sweat a lot. It's part of my job, and it's become something that's very necessary for me. I think too that sweating, because I'm in an infrared space so much, I think that has also helped with my skin. I think because I sweat so much, I think my skin stays clear. My skin is rarely has makeup on it. I mean, I'm just wearing makeup for you today. So it's always clean. It's usually scrubbed very clean, and it'll have just my essence on it. If I'm teaching, I won't put any oil base on it, because what we're not doing is mixing oil and bacteria to create acne. That's not happening in my face. So I will typically only have a water base, typically my essence. That water base will be the only thing on my face. And then when I sweat, I tend to sweat clean. And I think that keeps my skin clear. I really think that that's part of it. And I didn't mention that last time because we weren't talking about movement, but we're going to talk about movement a little bit today, now that I've gotten skincare out of the way. So sweating a lot, drinking a lot of water, I think that helps. This brand, Rienke, this freaking works for me. I am not telling you to run out and buy this. This is not cheap. I'm not even going to front like, oh, it's fine and it's affordable. It's not always affordable, right? So the trick is sometimes to get things in sets. Like the thing that I love about K-Beauty is they tend to have a lot of sets. And if you develop a relationship with your people, then they'll let you know when there's a set or when there's a special, when there's a buy one, get one free. Like I am buy one, get one free queen. I will come in when it's time to get something a little bit extra. I'm a huge fan of that kind of thing because it cuts the cost down. The good news is, so this cream, I don't know how much this cream costs. I want to say this cream is $280, I think. I could be lying. I'll look it up. But I think it's $280. This is probably going to last me a year. Not kidding. I bought this last August. I am 2/3 of the way through. It is April. I do not see going through this before August. I really don't. I use so little of it and I only use it at night, so that also helps. So I'm like, okay, $280 a year, that's not bad, right? If you think about it, that's not bad for something that really works. This also kind of expensive. You can look it up. I won't talk about it. This really expensive comes in. I got a set of 4. That was my gateway drug. I got a set of these and I don't think they've ever sold these to me individually. I think they throw one of these in my bag every time I buy something. I feel like I haven't paid for one of these ampules since I got the box set, and I got the box set back in August. Like everything happened in August, and I've been doing it ever since. And I don't think I've paid for that so I can't tell you what that costs individually. I don't even know if they sell them individually, to be honest. I think the only time I've ever seen them is in the little box set, and box sets are my life. Like I said, if I can get a little something extra or like cut down the cost, that makes me happy. And because I have a relationship at the stores that I frequent, they will always be like, try this, or this is also an extension of the line. Let me know if you want it. They will pump a little bit of, whatever. If they don't have the packets, they'll pump a little bit of whatever it is we're talking about into like a little empty container and send it home with me. And I've always followed directions. And the thing that makes me the happiest, especially now that I know like a teeny tiny bit of Korean, I know just enough Korean to like just pretend that I know what I'm talking about, is they are so patient and so kind and so loving with me because I've shown a genuine interest. I'm not just in there to consume. What's really interesting, this is a tiny bit of gossip that I learned in the last week or so. One of the stores that I absolutely love, I looked it up for some reason. I think because they changed the name of the store. I looked it up and it doesn't have good reviews. The reviews are not about their selection. It's about their customer service. I have never had a bad experience in this place. I don't know what people are talking about. Since the day I walked in there last year, it has been nothing but happiness. I love those women. I'm learning their Korean names because a lot of times when they introduce themselves to you, they introduce themselves with their English names. And I'm learning their Korean names. So that's like new for me. Oh, I just realized I don't have my mic on. What the hell? Okay, I decided I'm going to keep all of that. My mic was not on. Hopefully the sound is good. If this sounds so much better, it's because now I'm mic'd and it's hooked right into the computer and now everything sounds crystal clear. So if somebody drops something in the house or somebody bangs on my door unexpectedly, which has been known to happen, or the dog barks, now you're not going to pick it up. Anyway, as I was saying, the store that I frequent, it doesn't have a good reputation. I'm hoping that maybe they get a better reputation over time. But every time I go in there, I have a fantastic experience. And I'm like, okay, I don't understand. A couple other stores have been suggested to me. I was actually pointed in the direction of, like, oh my God, I can't believe you shop at that store. Like their reviews are not the best. And then I looked it up and I was like, what? So I was really surprised. But the other store that people are always talking about is a store that's in a Korean mall in Koreatown. I want to say it's like 928 Western. I only know things by addresses. And that store, they were like, oh, the store that I like to go to, don't go to that store. Go to this other store because they have a lot of high-end K-beauty. I've been to that other store. And that other store does have a lot of high-end K-beauty, but it is K-beauty that you can get anywhere. Suqqu is in there. Ohri is in there. History of Who is in there. Those are very common. Those are very, very common K-beauty brands. They're luxury K-beauty brands. They're on the higher end. They are for mature skin, but you can throw a rock and hit a K-beauty spot that's got those brands in them. I have never heard of Rien K before last year. I had never heard of Magellanic before last year. There's like 3 or 4 different brands in there that I've never heard of in my life that work like a dream. Not always for my skin. Like if something's too heavy, I'll usually give it to one of my friends. Like if they have a drier skin or they have a skin that can tolerate it. But the really nice, really premium, kind of impossible to source brands have all come from H and Beauty. That's what they're called now. I think they were called on Yeebi before. But H and Beauty is my spot. I'm sorry it didn't work out for everybody. The Yelp reviews are not the best, but I can personally say I have had nothing but success in that store. I think sometimes people do go in there and they get overwhelmed. There's a lot of stuff in there. And honestly, without guidance, you probably shouldn't try to walk around by yourself, because unless you know exactly what you're getting, unless you're walking in, you know exactly what you're getting. I personally, I'm not that person. I don't like to make mistakes. Almost everything is in Korean. So when I talk to them, I ask them to just give me key ingredients. Tell me what it does. This is my skin. This is what's happening. Help, right? The last time I went in there, the manager who I've developed a relationship with, she complimented me on my skin. And I was like, ma'am, I do everything that you tell me to do. Ever since I met you last year, I have been diligently layering properly, sealing properly. Like as much as I've learned about K-beauty over the last decade or so, I still continue to learn more. And I think part of the reason I continue to learn more is because they continue to innovate. They keep doing new stuff. Every time I walk in there, there's some new device, there's some new technology, there's some new ingredient, and I'm hungry for information, especially when it comes to self-care. It's not just skincare. I'm also like this in nutrition, and I'm like this in movement. I'm constantly learning, constantly upgrading, constantly trying ways to make things more efficient. And I definitely feel like that about skincare. And they have definitely hit the mark about making things efficient. One of the things I really like about K-beauty is that it's not as precious as some of the other brands. Like Japanese beauty is very precious. It's very ritualistic. It's very precious. And I think that's wonderful. But for somebody like me who's short on time and just wants efficacy, I just want clear skin. Whatever I have to do to get there, help. Just make it fast. I don't need 15 steps. I can't sit here and let something absorb for 20 minutes while I contemplate my life. I think that's wonderful if people have time to do that. I do not have time to do that. So I'm not a candidate for J-beauty. I'm not a candidate for any type of ritualistic thing that isn't like a once a week thing. Sheet masks, face masks, awesome, right? I can sit there for a minute. I can feel really good. But every single night, oh, no. We're not doing that. There's just no time. Speaking of which, sheet masks. That's the thing. I was supposed to talk about sheet masks. Hold on. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sheet masks, because I wanted to show, remember, if you watched my last video, I couldn't remember the names of things. I was winging it. I'm trying to be more organized. Like I said, this is a new thing. I don't really know what I'm doing. So please, y'all, bear with me. I didn't remember the names of the sheet masks. So now I was like, oh, let's take the sheet masks out and actually talk about them. So these are sheet masks that I use every single time, once, maybe twice a week. Not huge on putting a bunch of products on my face. So I told y'all about that. So the collagen mask that I like is the one from CHOPCHOP Beauty. This is the girls at H&M Beauty, they told me to use this. It has worked for me. This is when my skin is feeling a little dehydrated and I want to boost. This is an overnight mask. So I put this on overnight. It goes clear. Peel it off in the morning. Yay. Plump, hydrated skin. I really like this one. It's not that expensive. I want to say a pack is like $30. This one is nice. And this is an overnight. So that's one you have to commit to if you're gonna wear it. You gotta wait till it goes clear. Same thing for this one. This one I probably use more than anything else. This is the CKD mask. This is the C shot, I think this is called. No, blemish shot mask. The blemish shot mask is, I really like this because if a pimple decides that it wants to try to show up, this thing will knock everything out. This is also one that you sleep in. I sleep in this overnight. Wake up the next morning, and when this goes on, it's really, really thick. Like the material is very thick, but the next morning it's super thin. Like you have to look for it. I did a short in my video shorts where I use this, and you'll see the next day, it looks like I just have moisturizer on until I reach and like grab the edge of the mask and peel the whole thing off. And my skin is not only plumped and hydrated, it's clear. So if there's anything on it, if it's irritated, if there's redness, if there's acne acting like maybe it wants to come up, if there was a blemish somewhere that was just being not only really stubborn but also irritating the skin around it, that is the mask that I go for. That blemish shot mask is life. That is a once a week. If my skin is happy and I'm not really going through any changes, if I really don't need anything but I'm just trying to keep it clear, I will 100% reach for that mask. So once a week, usually like I'll pick a night, it's usually like a Thursday night or something. I do like a whole maintenance thing because I've been running myself through the paces. Skin has been looking crazy. Hair looks crazy. So hair got to get washed. There's like a protein treatment that goes in his head. The mask goes on. Like it's a whole thing. I just call it girly maintenance. So that's my girly maintenance night. And I sleep in a mask. And usually it's that blemish shot mask. If it's not, if my skin is feeling really dehydrated, then it's the CHOPCHOP mask. If I only have a couple of minutes and I don't feel like sleeping in a mask and maybe I want to do something that takes less time, but that still leaves my skin really nice, I swear by this mask. This is the Derma Pacific mask. This is expensive. The CHOPCHOP mask is not expensive. Like I said, that for a pack of 5, I think it's like $30. And the same thing for the CKD. Both of those for a pack of 5, I want to say is 25 or $30. A pack of 10 of these suckers is $100. So know what you're getting before you get it. Do not spend $100 if you don't need this. This is for older skin. This is for a more mature skin. This is calming. This is plumping. This is hydrating. If these are not things that you need and you just want a nice mask, this is not the mask for you. This mask is too expensive for y'all to be messing around. Don't mess around with your money. Spend your money on things that work, not things that are viral and not things that other people tell you to buy because it works for them. Make sure it works for you. This sucker was an investment and I was happy with it. One of the reasons that I bought it, again, developed a relationship with the ladies at H&M Beauty, is because they gave me a little packet and they put 2 of these in there. They gave me a little care bag and they put 2 of these suckers in there and I used both of them and I was like, okay, I can spend $100 on this. Like, because when they first told me the price, I'm like, well, what if it doesn't work? Right? And I know because I spend a lot of time in this YouTube space and in this influencer space, a lot of stuff that people talk about does not work. That's why there's a difference between going viral, doing something that's viral, and doing something that's effective. I do not believe in viral products. I won't touch a viral product because my skin is probably too mature for it. That's a fact. Right? Every time everybody's like, oh, this is so great, this works. And if I see like 5 or 6 influencers saying the exact same thing with the exact same script, I know they got that stuff for free and my trust has now gone out the window. So nope. So I would rather talk to people face to face and figure out where my money's supposed to go and whether or not it's going to make a difference in my skin. I don't need something to just be good enough. I need something to be really effective. For me to talk about it, it needs to not be a run-of-the-mill thing. It needs to change me, and I need to use it consistently. I do not believe in talking about things until I've used it for at least 30 days, because I figure in 30 days, it either works or it doesn't work, right? This works. If you have mature skin and you want the investment, this sucker works, and it's 10 minutes. And it's not like the other ones. It's not a high biocellulose, I think is the material. It's not that kind of material. That is a regular sheet mask. That's the other thing that's going to piss you off. As expensive as that mask is, that material is not special. It's just a dumb sheet mask. You just put it on your face. It doesn't do anything special. You lay on your back because otherwise if you're sitting up, it'll slide off your face. You pat it in the serum and you go about your life. But that plumps my skin without a doubt, and it does it in 10 minutes. So for me, the payoff is the time. That thing handles it. It handles business every single time. So I can't talk bad about it. If I don't have time, but I want the results, that's the mask for me. I will also do that mask before I put on makeup to go out where I know I'm going to get my picture taken. I want my skin to look plump and hydrated in the photos and in person. That's a thing, right? If you've ever looked at videos of people who are on camera or people who edit their photos and their skin looks a certain way, their features look a certain way, you know, you think that's what they really look like. And then some random person like takes their picture outside of that comfort zone and they look completely different. I want to look the way that I look in my photos and the way that I look in person. So I will 100% do a 10-minute sheet mask. I'll build that into my getting ready routine before I put on makeup. And then I'll carry blotting sheets, never powder. I'll carry blotting sheets just in case I get a little shiny. Because like even now I'm shiny because I didn't powder, but I like to look like this. I don't like to look greasy. There's a difference. So I will blot just so that there's like not a whole bunch of sheen on my face when the picture's taken, so people aren't like, ooh, like, you know, her skin probably needs to be patted down. I like to look like that in person. I do not like to look like that on camera, because once you capture it on camera, it's a wrap, and then everybody's got an opinion, and you looking there, you know, you're looking at it like, why didn't I grab a piece of tissue, or why didn't I have a blotting paper? So I keep blotting papers because I try to cover all of my bases. Those are my sheet masks. I also use other masks. I use foaming masks, and I use 2 gel masks. I don't, like I said, this is a once a week thing. I swap off with these products as my skin asks for it from week to week. I will not do something day after day after day after day. That overwhelms my skin. If I use a mask every single day, my skin will absolutely become reactive. It'll absolutely get overwhelmed. I think of masks as treatment, as something that you do to space out your regular skincare routine. So I'm not the person that's going to slap a lot of products on her face every single day. My routine is pretty steady. And then once a week, just like a protein treatment for your hair, you don't do a protein treatment every single time you wash it. You do a protein treatment like once a month, right? Or if your hair can stand it, maybe every couple of weeks. But you don't do it every single time because then your hair will dry up and fall out, right? Same thing with my skin. If I do a mask every single day, my skin's going to become reactive. It doesn't matter how good the ingredients are. It's too much stimulus. My skin needs to rest. So in between those things, especially if I'm farting around or I'm working and I want a very soothing mask, this is the mask that I use. You see how empty this thing is? This is like my 4th jar. I go through Mary & May Calendula Peptide, the Ageless Sleeping Mask. I go through this sucker like nobody's business. It's not expensive. That's part of the reason I have so much of it, and I tend to just go through these jars all the time. I don't even know how much this is. I want to say this is like $20, but most of the time I get it on sale for like $11. I just go straight to the Mary & May website. You can get it from other websites, but Mary & May US, they ship really quickly, and this is so calming. So if I had a day where heat is just tearing me up, because that will happen. I teach in a lot of heat, and you'll often hear teachers complain that the infrared heat or just heat in general is irritating your skin. That will sometimes happen to me. Not a lot, but every now and then my skin will get irritated. And I'll know because I'll come out of the studio and my skin will be really flush and it'll be a little tender to the touch. I will immediately rinse my face with cold water, wipe it down with aloe, put that mask on. The thing about the mask is that it goes on clear and then it dries in about 10 minutes and you can't tell that it's on. You can walk around and go on about your life and people will not know that you have that mask on. My husband has come home many a day and had no idea that I was walking around the house in that mask because it just looks like you moisturize your skin. It doesn't look like you have something stuck on top of your skin. And you can wear that for as long as you need to wear it. I have worked around the house doing stuff. I've sat in front of my computer and worked for hours with that mask on. It's just a calming mask. It's supposed to be a sleeping mask. I did not like sleeping in it. When I would touch the pillow, even after I let it set for like an hour, as soon as I touched the pillow, my face would stick. That will annoy me. I don't want my face to stick to the pillow. So that is not my favorite. The thing about the overnight sheet masks is that once they adhere to your skin, they don't stick to anything. But that calendula mask, it does stick to the pillow. So I don't use it as a sleeping mask. I know that's what it's meant for. But because it's a sleeping mask, it also taught me that, oh, I can wear this for a really long time. Because if you wear it overnight, you can wear it for a really long time and nothing happens. And then when I rinse my face is calm and it's smooth, and then I can go on with the rest of my skincare. So if I come home and my skin is agitated after having either been out in the sun or after teaching or whatever, I will wash my face typically with something very, very kind like aloe. I'll just rinse my face and wipe it down with aloe, and I'll put that on my face, and it just takes care of it. Everything is lovely. My skin is happy. That I probably have used, and I've used that calendula mask for years, and I've gone through jar after jar after jar of it. I cannot even tell you how many jars I've gone through, and I also can't tell you how long it lasts because I use so many of them because it's very inexpensive. So when it's inexpensive, especially if they have a sale, like if they have a 50% off sale, I'm getting two. Because technically, girl math, that's the price of one mask. I'm doing good. So I'll stock up on them. So I have boxes of them in my cabinet, and I just pull them out and use them as needed. If I'm looking for a boost, if I need a brightening boost, like sometimes my skin will get dull, and I want to say, I don't know if this is true, but at least for me it is. I want to say it probably has something to do with aging. Sometimes my skin will just look sallow. It won't be bright and luminous, and it needs a little zhuzh, right? It needs a little help. So I will use the Spa Oxy Gel Mask. I keep these masks in the box that they come in because they come in packs. Like it's a little kit. Like you get the gel, and then you mixed it in this little bowl that it comes with, and then you get the brightening powder, and all of this goes together. It gets mixed in a little bowl. You use a spatula, you put it on your face, and you sit there, I want to say for 30 minutes. It's terribly uncomfortable. I will say about this mask that it's uncomfortable because it's goopy and it slides. So be still. This is not a mask you can move around the house in. You got to take 30 minutes and you have to be still because it will slide down your face. However, when you rinse your skin is so luminous, right? And we have to learn the difference between brightening and bleaching. There is no bleach in anything that I use. That is a brightening mask because it's a vitamin C mask. So your skin is just very bright. It's very luminous. And if you have any hyperpigmentation, it reduces the appearance of that hyperpigmentation and it makes your skin more even toned. So things that are brightening, things that inhibit the overproduction of melanocytes, that is just something that's going to tone your skin, right? Not like a bleach. Like if you put a bleach on your face, everything gets lighter, your base layer gets lighter, and the spots get lighter, but the spots don't go away, right? It's the same ratio of light to dark, but everything on your face is now lighter. With things that are brightening or toning, and vitamin C is a fantastic ingredient for that. That'll help brighten and tone and harmonize the color of your skin. That will help bring the hyperpigmentation down and bring the luminosity in your skin up so that everything comes together and you end up with this very even toned, very happy, luminous skin, right? So that's my weird, goopy, strange gel mask that I really like, but I gotta be patient. It's 30 minutes and I have to be still. If I'm looking for something that takes like 3 or 4 minutes, I'm a huge fan of foaming masks. And I have 2 brands that I use all of the time. One is the Cell Cure mask, and the other one is from my favorite brand, the Rien-K Cell Brightening Mask. These are basically the same thing. They do the same thing. They have a lot of the same brightening ingredients in them, and they take about 5 minutes. You do like 2 pumps. They both have these super sanitary tops where you do, there we go, super sanitary tops where you do like 2 pumps, and then, you just kind of wipe off the excess so that it doesn't get gross on the top. And you put it on your face. It foams up. Your face turns into a cotton ball. It foams up. And then you gently just kind of, I tend to exfoliate a little bit and then rinse. You can also use a cloth. I'm not a big fan of scraping a cloth across my face. So I will always opt for a splash of warm water and a pat dry. I don't even use a towel on my face. I use paper towel or tissue, and it's a blot. It's just to take off the drops that show up on my skin. It's not to rub anything. I don't wipe, I don't rub, I don't pull. I tend to just blot a little tiny bit and then go on about my life. If I need exfoliation, it will typically come in the form of a chemical exfoliant. I'm not a big fan of physical exfoliants because I'm not trying to tear the skin. The skin is 51 and we are not going to be rude and disrespectful to it. Right? So that's about it. That's what I put on my face. That's my skincare. And this time I had props, so I wasn't just running my face and putting on makeup, which we all know I'm not that good at yet. I'm going to do that. I'm going to practice that later as I get better. I've been watching videos and I see people have mirrors off camera. I'm going to do that because, like, for some reason, right is left. Like, this is my left hand. No, I'm wrong. This is my left hand. But it's on the right side of the screen. You see how I'm mixed up? It's on the right side of the screen. When I was trying to put on makeup in the last video, I was completely turned around. I was backwards, and I tried to take the mirror feature off of this thing, and it didn't work. So, like I said, I'm learning. I'm trying to figure it out. Regarding this face, the makeup that's on this face, I will put all of the descriptions down below. I'll put the products down below. And the same thing with the masks. If any of you are interested in them, they work for me. I'm not telling you to buy them. I'm telling you they work for me. Some of the price points are good. Some of the price points are ridiculous. Use what works for you. You know, I'm not here to advocate any particular thing. I'm not going to tell you that something's going to work for you because I don't know your skin. And I don't have to live in your skin. I have to live in my skin. So this is what I do to take care of my skin. Hopefully this was helpful. If it wasn't, I'm sorry. I was just running my face and talking about masks. If you have seen any of my shorts, you will see that the fitness photos from the last video, those photos went up and they're on the website. So the website is habibibodysport.com. If that's something that you've ever wanted to be interested in, my photos and that makeup that I did is also on the website. But full disclosure, I changed the lipstick because you could not see my lips on camera. They merged in with the rest of my face. Nude is not a good color for those kind of photos. So I changed it and I wore the Chanel Balm in Charming Lilac. So it was a cool fuchsia berry color that looked really nice, and it came out against the blue, so it looked really nice. But like I said, this face I'll put down below, and I think that's all I have. So forgive all of the mishaps. I decided to keep everything. I'm not editing any of it out. So, you know, when my mic was off, whatever, when I had to go get the mask, whatever, I'm still figuring it out because I think that's more authentic, and I would rather be more authentic. I'm not fake. This is me. The way I am on camera is the way I am off camera, because I'm too old to lie. I can't keep track of my lies. And I'm too old. I'm just too old. I'm too old for silliness and for fake and for pretending to be something that I'm not. This is it. So if this works for you, yay, we can be friends. And I will hopefully catch you for the next video.